To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to build up. A time to weep, a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that therein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which the I Am have given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in its time. Also he has set the world in their heart, so that a man can find out the work that the I Am maketh from the beginning to the end. I know there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice to do good in his life. And also that every man should eat, drink, and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of the I Am. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it, and the I Am doeth it, that men should fear before him. And that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun a place of judgment, that the wickedness was there, and that the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every purpose and for every work. And I say in my heart concerning to the estates of the sons of men, that God manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them, as one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they all one birth. So that a man hath no preeminence over a beast, for all is vanity. Go into one place, all of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. Who shall bring him to see what is better? Bring him to see what shall be after him. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits, who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening on this beautiful, yes, I should say, I believe it's the 4th day of the week of the lunar calendar. The calendar which the I Am created. Many of you celebrate this Saturday as the Sabbath. You still lurk in paganism. You still are in error. May God have mercy upon you. Because once you learn the truth and you turn a blind eye to it and you cast it over your shoulder, then you lie in idolatry and sin. Yes, we have a long way to go from the confusion that had been wrought because of the ways of our ancestors, and then because of our ways and the ways of our parents. who have raised us up in a paganistic society with a pagan God they call Yahushai, Yahusha, and even Jesus and Yeshua. Yeah, they come up with all kind of names for that replacement of the Most High, which is not so. There is none beside him. I would always say this. There is none beside the Most High. None. He said, I exist. God says, I exist. I am not male nor female. He says, I exist. God exists. I am that I am. However you might translate that into Hebrew or translate that, or it's translated from Hebrew, from what I understand, it is I am that I am. You can say all these Yah this and Yah that, but it's all I am that I am have sent you. I don't think, but the fact is, I know the translators didn't make a mistake on God's title or his name, or God's name. If you say it in Hebrew, it might mean a certain thing. If you say it in other languages, it might mean another thing. Like Sanini Nanini, I am that I am. Or Tata Nzambi means my father. God is not a father of anybody. That's Catholicism, some Greek junk. God, the I am, is the creator. The one that exists, who has no beginning nor end. And your Jesus had the beginning and had an ending. God is not going to stoop down so low as to try to save mankind. So why wouldn't he try to save, or why would God not try to save the animal that was slaughtered because of the sin of whom they call Adamah and Amma, or Adam and Eve? Yes, as you prepare, we are in the book of Job, chapter 6 of Job. Yes, now we know that the Most High let us know that we all are just the same. We all die, from the beast to the human. Nothing is, you put too much into life when you should get a lot out of life, is what he's saying. You're putting all this stuff into life, chasing the women chasing the men, children, and all, the children is what you put into life. Work shouldn't be what you're getting out of life. It should be what you're putting into life. Excuse me. Even your life, in the lives of your loved ones. You're going to die one day. I'm going to put that plainly. You're going to die. This flesh is going to become dust as well as yours. No matter how rich you are, we all go to the grave. We all will stop our breathing. We all, maybe some of us might not even experience the process of death because of how we're deleted. Could be by nuclear bomb or bullet, knife. It could by sickness. That is the worst death there is. Sickness and old age. But old age, you learn to deal with the things of old age. You take care of your body. This is why the Most High gives you a dietary plan. And it is the best I've seen. God doesn't play around with you. He knows why he gives you that dietary law. Jacob, in the book of, should I say, Job. Job is a very wise book. It's a book of wisdom also, through the suffering of a man who had everything. And it's just befitting that we are in the book of Ecclesiastics with the book of Job, or Job, or however you pronounce it. It's befitting that we're in this because it is vain. After Job put all the things into his life and it's all taken away, even his own health. He put into life. But what did he get out of life? See, there's a balance. There got to be balance there. The balance of life is, what can you? You cannot take none of the stuff that you put into life with you. No, you can't. But what do you get out of life? The Most High, for one thing. To be able to go by his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, another. To value those things above the Most High that we shall lose is foolishness, is what Solomon basically is saying. Do not put nothing above the Most High, not even your own life. Because it's foolishness. The Most High, even the I Am, the Eternal, holds all eternity. You living in eternity now, but you're in a body confined finitely until this body expires, or your body expires too. Job chapter 6. Now Job is getting ready to answer Eliphaz. Eliphaz used cunning words in his experiences to try to accuse Job of such things that are not so, but there's wisdom in his word. There's wisdom in a fool. If you really search for it, listen to his words. Don't say nothing because he's a fool. And just walk off on your own and wonder. Maybe there's something into it, what he's saying. Not according to what he might say or she might say about me, but about what I can learn about human nature and how to deal with only my relatives and friends and other people that I might encounter. That's wisdom. You have to seek understanding. Before you get wisdom, you have to have understanding. That's why be quick to understand. Be quick to hear. Slow to speak. Now it says in verse 1, but Job answered and said, oh, that my grief thoroughly weighed, and my calamity laid in the balances together. I just lost my son, my daughters. I lost everything I had. Did I value them above God, like Adam valued Eve above his God? For now it would be heavier than the sand of the sea, therefore my words are swallowed up. I have no words. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. Are they really? He don't know what's going on. All he knows is what he's suffering. The poison thereof drinketh up my spirit. The terrors of the I Am do set themselves in great array against me. It's when the Most High allows you to be turned loose. You can just look at those who were carried in the slave trade, those who were here in the United States already and were converted unto slaves and treated like even worse than dogs. And the people that done it had no one to answer to. This was their whole thing. Who's gonna put you in jail? There's no law for you to do this. This is your property. They lied to themselves and fed themselves on a lie that a human being, because of the color of his skin, is less than they are. Oh, it's coming back at you. Don't even think for a moment that you're getting away. Eternity and life, your children. Man, woman, if you don't change your basic, should I say, even you Arabs. I'm not talking about white and black, because to me, all you're white. The Arabs as well as the Caucasian, or what we call the Caucasian. All of them are white. They consider themselves white, period. Even some of the South Americans consider themselves white. So you're white, okay, let's put it that way. You're in a status based on the color of your skin and based on the texture of your hair. You're in a status. Even some of you you're out of that status because you're poor. And they have deceived you to make you think you're more than what you are. Now, here we go again. He says, now, the poison thereof drinketh up my spirit. The terrors of the I Am set themselves in array against me. Why doth the wild ass bray when he hath grass, and loweth the ox over his father? In other words, you see that tail of that ox is just wagging, and that donkey, or the ass as he called it. Yeah, you look at their tails when they get ready to eat their morning breakfast and their food. Yes, they are happy. Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt, or is there any taste in the white of an egg? Now, this wasn't called that in his language. And I don't understand that either they were eating quail eggs, because I don't think in his time the chicken was yet turned over to that land. The chicken was basically made of two birds, two scavenger birds. So to think that was a chicken egg he was talking about is foolery. Not in that region. They were mostly over in like the Philippines, or as they would count it thousands of years ago, to give you and have you to sin eating this scavenger bird, this hybrid bird. And you think and it's most abundant just as the pig. And many of you are eating the equivalent of a pig when you eat chicken. There is no chickens talked about, and that is too early to even say a chicken was even there. So this is not a chicken egg he is talking about. But this is what the translator put. Look up. Ask Google if chickens are scavengers. It will definitely tell you yes, unless they changed it in the last few weeks. They're always changing the meaning of words. You can't take the words. You have to look at what's being said and what is done. In most of the whole Old Testament, there is nothing mentioned about the chicken, except for in the New Testament from what I've seen and can recall. Verse 7, the things that my soul refused to touch are as my sorrowful meat. Oh, that I might have request that God would grant me the thing that I long for. What is that, Job? Even that it would please God to destroy me. This is what he's saying. Destroy me. Sometimes you have said, oh, Most High, destroy me, destroy me. I don't need to be on this earth. I'm tired of suffering. Even for this short time, at this point in time, as Job answered Eliphaz, he doesn't accuse Eliphaz. He doesn't come back at him with harsh words. But he comes back with himself. He comes back with himself. He said, yeah, I will harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. In other words, I told people about the Holy One. I told folks about he who exists and that he is holy, and I've carefully obeyed what the Holy One has commanded me through my father Noah, my father Isaac, even Abram. Now, what is my strength that I should hope? What is my end that I should prolong my life? The suffering is the biggest thing. The next thing is just losing everything after you put so much into life, losing it all. This is what the heathen searches for. To learn and understand, to know and understand the eternal, the Most High, the one that exists, is the best thing you could ever do and give to your children, your wife, and the wife give to her children and her friends, and you, your friends. This is the best thing you could ever give to them, is that they might turn from their wicked ways even unto the Most High. Because God is looking for a remnant. He's looking for a seed. Yes, as I stated before, it's coming down. It boiled down from Abram. Abram saw a seed. He see a seed. That seed filtered on down through his sons. Isaac, then Jacob. And it's filtering even more. He used Levi to minister unto himself, because faithful was Moses and Aaron unto the Most High. Now, you say, well, where's Jacob now? God has a seed that is perfect, that is pure, that is going through the fire, and his chastisement of the children of Jacob is just, because we continually pattern ourselves after the ways of the idolaters, the fornicator, the thieves, and all these others. your mindset is the same thing as them. So Job looked at himself. He says, my strength, the strength of stones, or is my flesh of brass? Yeah, I have no strength. 13, is not help in me? Is wisdom driven quite from me? To him that is afflicted, pity should be showed from his friend. And this is what Job did. He showed pity to the people that were afflicted. But yet him himself, Eliphaz showed him no pity in what he had said. Watch your friends when they come and roundabout accuse you of things that you have not done, or bring up a certain, you have to be wise and discerning. Some of your wise friends who are wise in picking you, as Eliphaz did Job. He says, my brethren have dealt deceitfully as a brook, as the stream of the brooks, they pass away. He said, look, people around me, I've done good to them, and look what happened to them. And which are blackish by reason of the ice, wherein the snow is hid. Now, this got to be Mount Edom. If he's up in there in Mount Edom, I believe it has snow. I have to look that up. He says, now, what time they wax warm, they vanish. When it's hot, they are consumed out of their place. This is what happens. Ice. It looks clear, blackish, whatever they would say. Black ice. Black ice is simply ice that's on a black surface. And it's clear. When it's hot, they are consumed out of their place. Now, the path, the troops of Timnah looked, and the companies of Sheba waited for them. They were confounded because they had hoped, and they came thither and were ashamed. In other words, they lost the war. Now ye are nothing. Ye see my casting down and are afraid. In other words, Eliphaz, and you and your friends come here and y'all see my suffering. I'm cast down before the Most High, the Holy One, that I've worshipped and I've feared and I trembled at his presence and his word and his name. Now you are afraid. And he says, did I say, bring unto me, give me a reward for your substance? Or deliver me from the enemy's hands, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty? Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred. What have I erred? What have I done wrong? How forcible are right words, but what doth your arguing reprove? You Eliphaz, you say all this stuff, but it doesn't reprove me. You're wrong with your roundabout speaking, accusing me, is what Job is saying to Eliphaz. You have to really look at this conversation. Do you imagine to reprove words and speeches of one that is desperate, which are as wind? Or ruach, as the wind. This is what ruach means. What word can you give for spirit? What word can you give for the air you breathe? They give air, yes, but that's something someone made up. They give ruach, but that's something that we breathe ruach every day, the wind. But we have changed the meaning of things over time to understand. Who can explain spirits? Who can explain the Spirit of the Most High? He's in your blood. The Most High is in your blood, your breathing, your nostrils, your sight, your hearing. And you still do not understand him or understand the Most High. It's really to get out of that gender. It's tough for me. It's tough. I'm trying to. Yeah. 27. Ye overwhelm the fatherless. You dig a pit for your friends. This is what you did to me. This is what you're doing, Eliphaz. This is what you're doing to me. Now, therefore, be content. Look upon me, for it is evident unto you if I lie. You know my life. You know what I've been doing. And you know I'm not lying. Return, I pray you, And let it not be iniquity. Yeah, return again my righteousness. It is in it. Don't become down talking me, because you know that I have done what was right before you and others. So return it. Don't mar my name because of what you think or what you imagine. Is there integrity in my tongue? Iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things? Eliphaz, he's talking to Eliphaz. So Job understood the talk of wise men when they accuse others. Young man, listen to me. You talk, a wise elderly man can put you down and never say a curse word. A politician is learned in these things, and so are diplomats. They are learned in diplomacy and words that can accuse, but only those who are learned or have their senses tuned to these things can understand. Some say read between the lines. No, know the words, watch the person, and understand the situation, and you will understand whether they be truthful or they're lying. And if we keep those things that are right before the Most High, we will have